What's up, guys? Trail here, better known as Budget Bill, and this is your third stimulus check update and stimulus package update for Friday, January the 15th. Good morning, everyone. Are y'all ready for the weekend? I know I sure am. Well, it's official. Joe Biden has released his stimulus package details yesterday that includes a third stimulus check. And he reiterated the $2,000 stimulus checks to the American people. He also laid out everything else that will be included in this stimulus package bill. And I gotta say, it sure does sound pretty good so far. But it also makes you think. He left the door open to negotiate with Republicans on this bill. Let's go ahead and discuss all the details of this stimulus package bill right now. But don't forget, if this is your first time to the channel, hey, welcome and glad to have you. We talk about finance, real estate, credit cards, and stimulus update news. So be sure to subscribe to the channel. Also, don't forget to hit the like button for me if you enjoy this type of content. It definitely helps out a lot as it takes a lot of time to research all of this information and to provide a scaled down version to share with you guys. And it doesn't cost you a single dime, but just a single press of the like button really helps out the channel. So thank you guys. So here we are. It's finally here, guys, and we have been waiting on the details of President-elect Biden's stimulus package plan to come out for the past few weeks. And the most important thing that we want to know about this bill is it does include the $2,000 stimulus checks that we've all been waiting for. But there is one twist to it. It won't be an additional $2,000 provided. The third stimulus check is going to be $1,400, as they have already given us the other $600, which gets us to the total of $2,000. But this is still some good news. Yes, we would have liked to get an additional $2,000, but that doesn't seem like that is the plan right now. This is probably the one thing that Joe Biden and President Trump actually agree on. Last year, President Trump was urging Congress to approve of the $2,000 stimulus checks, and he also stated that he wanted bigger stimulus checks than the Democrats wanted. But unfortunately, he was unable to convince Republicans to give the American people the additional money and ended up signing a bill that only approved of $600 for individuals and $1,200 for couples. But no worries. Most people have already received that money and looking forward to the additional $1,400 checks. Also, the stimulus checks does include adult dependents this time, which is different from the last stimulus package. Now, this leads us to the biggest question. When can we expect to receive these $1,400 stimulus checks? Well, it's kind of too soon to be talking about when we are going to receive them, as Joe Biden hasn't even been sworn in yet. He will enter into office on January the 20th. This plan will obviously have to be negotiated with the Republicans and get their buy-in. I'm sure this bill won't go smoothly, as most stimulus packages have taken forever with all the negotiations. The Republicans will want to add a few things in this bill in order to get their bipartisan support. I would think that Mitch McConnell, that name again, he will want to include the liability protections to be added into this bill. So we probably won't see this money until mid or late February, if everything goes well. Now, Biden's stimulus package has a price tag of $1.9 trillion, and it is objective to support households and businesses through the pandemic. The name of this bill is called the American Rescue Plan, which it includes several things that we saw in the CARES Act bill that was passed earlier in March of last year. So again, this bill is calling for $1,400 stimulus payments to the American people, bringing the total relief aid to $2,000. Biden is also calling for an increase in minimum wage across America. He wants the minimum wage to be raised to $15 per hour. He talked about how people who work 40 hours per week but make less than $15 an hour is considered in poverty. And he doesn't believe that anyone working 40 or more hours should be below the poverty line. So he wants to increase that amount to $15 per hour. He is also calling for an increase in federal unemployment benefits. This plan wants to extend the unemployment benefits weekly boost from $300 per week to $400 per week. Right now, the unemployment benefits will expire on March the 30th of this year, and this bill would extend it from March the 30th through the end of September. So you would go from receiving $300 per week to $400 per week, which is about a $400 per month increase. He also wants to extend the eviction and foreclosure moratoriums until the end of September. The plan also includes $350 billion for state and local government aid, which is something that most Republicans do not agree with. So definitely some negotiating on that proposal there. And then about $170 billion for schools and institutions. And then about $50 billion towards virus testing and $20 billion for the National Vaccine Program to help with states and localities. Biden talked about his goal was to get 100 million people vaccinated in his first 100 days in office, which is a very lofty goal. Every time I hear about an amount of people to get vaccinated by a certain time frame, I can't help but think that wouldn't you need to have that many people willing to get the vaccine first in order to make that goal? I mean, do we have 100 million people in America right now that is willing to take the vaccine? Do you guys know that answer? Because I sure don't. But we'll see if he's able to meet that goal after 100 days. And then he also wants to make the child tax credit fully refundable for the year while increasing the credit to $3,000 per child for children over 6 years old. And for children under 6 years old, it would be an additional $600, which makes it a total of $3,600. The plan also includes the things like the 15% increase in SNAP food stamp benefits. It includes about $25 billion in rental assistance and $5 billion to cover for home energy and water costs for Americans who are struggling right now. And then about $15 billion for grants for small business owners, and that's going to be separate from the PPP or the Paycheck Protection Program. And then he also plans to expand paid leave from work to 14 weeks for paid sick and family and medical leave. Now, the one thing this plan does not include is anything about student loan forgiveness. There was no mentioning of that whatsoever, but it could be used to negotiate at a later time when he's dealing with the Republicans. You just never know. And those are the top highlights of this bill and how Joe Biden wants to help the people that are struggling right now. These things will obviously change once the bill is introduced to Congress and the negotiations start or begin. Then the compromise with Republicans or what they want to remove or add to the bill and so on. Now, let's just hope it doesn't take 9+ months to get this bill signed into legislation. We have already waited too long already and people are losing hope. But I honestly don't think that it will take that long this time around, especially since the Democrats control the House and the Senate. So maybe a couple of weeks to negotiate, and then we can see this bill being signed into legislation, and hopefully we can see these $1,400 stimulus checks sometime in mid-February or late February. I mentioned several things that Biden wants to include in this stimulus package that will help with the fight against the deadly virus. It appears that he plans on being more active with the virus task force than President Trump was, which is obviously as Trump didn't really see the virus as a big concern in America, which is totally the opposite of how Joe Biden thinks of it, which is a good thing, right? I think we all can agree, regardless to what party you claim or what side you sit on, we all want this virus to get up and move out of this country. It's almost been a year and the virus cases just won't slow down. But maybe as more people are vaccinated and more people continue to wash their hands and be cautious when around others, like wearing a mask, maybe the cases will begin to slow down. I'm tired. You guys are tired. We all are tired. I would have never thought that this virus would be around for a full year. And here it is. We are almost to March. But I am optimistic that if we all just do our parts, we should make the turnaround in 2021. And with that being said, this has been your third stimulus check update news for today. If you enjoyed any of this information today and found it useful, be sure to hit the like button for me. It definitely helps out a lot as it tells YouTube to share this video with others. And if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button for me so you can be a part of this community. And don't forget to hit the notification bell to be notified of each new video. Other than that, hey, I appreciate you guys stopping by and watching, and I hope to see you on the next video. Peace.